everyone. In the previous lecture, we had discussed about I/O management and disk scheduling. In this lecture, we will be discussing about file management. So first, let us see what is the definition of a file. A file is a collection of named information which is stored in secondary storage such as a magnetic disk, magnetic tape or optical disk. In such cases, a file can be a set or a sequence of bits, bytes, lines and records which has a meaning which is made by the user or the person who has created the file. In general, a file can be explained as anything which we deal in our real life. For example, the images which we take or the music videos or the text files or PPT files which we store every day. Each of them are individual files. Now let us discuss about file structure. A file structure should be in such a way that the operating system can understand. A file structure is defined for each type according to the operating system. The text file is a sequence of characters which are organized into lines. Similarly, a source file is a sequence of procedures and functions. And finally, an object file is a sequence of bytes which are organized into blocks that the machine can understand. Basically, all the file structures are organized in such a way that it is understood by the operating system, and as a result the supporting codes are also provided by the operating system. MS-DOS and Unix have minimum number of file structures as compared to Windows. Now let us discuss about file types. File types is a basic ability of the operating system to distinguish about different types of files. For example, we may be saving different files in different formats. It may be a text file, a source file, a binary file and so on. So each one of them are different file types. Basically, each operating system may support different types of file system. As far as Unix and MS-DOS is concerned, the basic three types of files are the first one ordinary file, the second one directory file and the third one is special files. The first type of file is ordinary file. These files contain information given by the user. It can be of different types such as text file, executable programs and so on. In each case, the user can edit the program or edit the data in the file. He can add new file or he can add new data in the file. He can delete the file or remove the entire file. So all these things can be done on these files by the user. The special file can also be called as a device file. It is called as a device file because it represents all the physical devices like the printers, terminals, disks, tapes, networks and so on. It can also be divided into two types, character special files and the block special files. The character special files deal with the files as character by character. As a result, it can be used for printers, terminals and so on. As far as block special file is concerned, it deals with files as block by block. As a result, it can be used for disks, tapes and so on. Now that we have seen various types and structure in which a file can be stored, now let us next see how to access a file. We definitely need to access a file in order to store it, to check the data, to read it, to edit it and save it. So now let us see some of the various mechanisms of file accessing. That is, now let's next see about the file access mechanisms. File access mechanism is a method in which various data in the file can be accessed. There are three types of file access mechanism. The first one is sequential access. Sequential access is a way in which the data in the file are read sequentially. The second type is random or direct access in which the data is read directly, and the third one is index sequential access. In this case, the data from the file is read in an index sequential manner. Now let us see about each access mechanism in detail. Now let us see about the first type of access mechanism, which is sequential access. In case of sequential access, all the records in the file are read sequentially. That is, the information in the file are read in one after another manner. As a result, it is one of the most simplest and primitive method for accessing the files. But even so, it is uncomplicated. It is one of the least efficient method as far as time and space performance is concerned. As a result, it is the least used mechanism for accessing of data. One such example of sequential access is compilers. In case of compilers, they access the files in sequential manner. Now let us discuss about the second type of access mechanism, which is direct or random access mechanism. In case of direct or random access mechanism, we won't be accessing the data in the file sequentially. In such cases, each record in the file will have a single address. As a result, whenever we want to access that particular record, we will be accessing it directly using that particular address. As a result, it is not required for all the records in the file to stay in a sequential or in any order. Similarly, all the files need not be stayed adjacent as far as the storage is concerned. As a result, it is very efficient as far as the time as well as space is concerned. As a result, it is one of the most efficient and usually used mechanism. Now let us discuss about the third type of access, which is index sequential access. This is built on the basic of sequential access, but moreover we will be adding the concepts of indexing as well as pointers to it. In case of index sequence access, index will be given for each files and each indexing will be having a pointer. These pointers will be pointing to the respective files. As a result, when the access is taking place, at that time the indexing will be accessed sequentially and the files will be accessed directly based on the pointers. This is how the index sequential access will take place. Now that we have seen about various access methods, now let us discuss about space allocation. Space allocation is the method in which operating system allocates space for each files. Each files, when they are created, they need to be stored somewhere. They are usually stored in the secondary storage. The work of the operating system is to find some space for allocating in the disk for each of the files. Space allocation can be of three types according to the operating system. The first type is contiguous space allocation, the second type is linked space allocation, and the third type is index space allocation. Now let us see about each one in detail. Now let us discuss about the first type of space allocation, which is contiguous allocation. In case of contiguous allocation, a single section of contiguous memory is given to a file or a process. In such cases, the size of the file or process is considered. Moreover, the maximum size up to which the file or the process will grow is also considered, and corresponding memory is given. As a result, maximum amount of memory is given for each file or process. Disk address is provided in a linear manner. It is one of the most primitive and simple method. But because lots of memory is wasted as far as each file or process is concerned, as a result, external fragmentation may be caused as far as this kind of allocation is concerned. So it is avoided. The next type of allocation is linked allocation. In case of linked allocation, a particular file is a linked list of disk blocks. In such case, what happens is each file is given the pointer to the first disk block, and that particular disk block will be pointing to the next disk block of that file. As a result, as the file grows, the linked list will also grow according to the memory, and as a result, there won't be any external fragmentation present which is present in the previous contiguous memory. It is quite efficient as far as sequential access is concerned, but as far as direct access is concerned, it is less efficient. Now let us discuss about the last kind of space allocation, which is index space allocation. Now we had already seen that in case of contiguous space allocation, that maximum amount of memory was given for each file or process. So as a result, external fragmentation was occurred as far as contiguous allocation was concerned. And again, as far as linked allocation is concerned, direct memory access was inefficient as far as linked memory allocation. So here we will be finding a solution for both contiguous as well as linked memory allocation. In this case, an index block will be found which will contain the pointers for all the files. Each file will again contain an index which has the address of all the disks occupied by the file, and again the directory will be having the address of all the index blocks of the files. So as a result, here external fragmentation won't be occurring since we are taking all the memory in a dynamic way, and again we will be able to access the files sequentially as well as in a direct manner. So here solution will be found for both contiguous as well as linked allocation. We have come to the end of the session. Hope you all understood about file systems and file management techniques. In the coming session, we will be discussing about computer security and threats. Thank you.